start with the biggest story of the day, and that is the news that DeWanna Bonner is no longer with the Indiana Fever. It was reported last night that DeWanna Bonner had no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and then the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed.
DeWanna Bonner thought she could just walk away from the Indiana Fever and waltz onto any team she wanted. But reality just hit her like a freight train. Teams across the WNBA are refusing to go near her, not even with a dust football, after watching her abandon her teammates mid-season. The karma is hitting different right now. Do you think DeWanna Bonner deserves to be blacklisted by other teams after what she did? Folks, we are witnessing one of the most satisfying cases of instant karma in WNBA history. Bonner quit on the Indiana Fever, left Caitlin Clark and the rest of her team high and dry, and genuinely believed teams would be lining up to sign her. Well, reality just served her a cold dish of consequences, and it's absolutely delicious to watch.
Statement. She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young."
Here's what makes this whole situation even more embarrassing for Bonner. She was waived by the Fever, which means any team in the league could have claimed her off waivers, and she would have received her full $200,000 salary. But not a single team was interested.
If another team claims her off the waivers, she gets her full salary. She gets her full salary if another team claims her off the waivers.
That's a lot of money in the WNBA, and you'd think teams would be interested in a veteran player with championship experience, right?
Wrong.
It makes DeWanna Bonner look really, really bad. It makes DB look really, really bad. And it's the fact that she has told all other teams, other than the Mercury, don't sign her.
Bonner has reportedly told every team in the league except the Phoenix Mercury not to even bother trying to sign her. She's acting like a free agent who gets to pick and choose where she goes, when in reality, she's damaged goods that no one wants. She's pulling a Ben Simmons sitting out and demanding to join one specific team, completely ignoring the fact that she's still under contract. The absolute audacity is breathtaking. She signed with Indiana, took their money, enjoyed all the perks of being part of the biggest story in women's basketball, posed for Sports Illustrated covers, and played in front of sold-out crowds. But the moment things didn't go exactly her way, she quit. And now she thinks she can dictate terms to the entire league about where she'll play next?
And look, I understand that's where she wants to go. Why didn't she go there in the summer? We know why, because she couldn't have got her max contract. And by the way, people are like, oh, they can give her the minimum. No, they can't. The Phoenix Mercury can give her a prorated $80,000 salary for the rest of the year. So she's only going to lose about 30K-ish. And she's going to lose about 40, 50K. Whereas they would have been only able to sign her earlier on. Well, they would only be able to sign her for nothing. Because again, we can't forget as well, the Phoenix Mercury cut Sevgi Uzun. The Phoenix Mercury have a bunch of players signed on hardships and a bunch of players that they can cut. Like they literally cap space magicked up. And as soon as cap space magics up for the Indiana or for the Phoenix Mercury,
DeWanna Bonner's fall from grace. A masterclass in how not to handle a professional setback. DeWanna Bonner thought she could quit on the Indiana Fever and force her way to the Phoenix Mercury and still have the entire WNBA lining up to sign her. But reality just hit her like a freight train. She was waived by Indiana, meaning any team in the league could have claimed her and paid her full $200,000 salary. That's a huge sum by WNBA standards. You'd think a veteran with championship pedigree would be a hot commodity, right? Wrong. Bonner reportedly told every team except the Phoenix Mercury not to bother trying to sign her. She's acting like a free agent with all the leverage, despite being under contract and fresh off abandoning her team mid-season. She's pulling a Ben Simmons demanding a specific destination while completely ignoring the consequences. The most embarrassing part? Phoenix, the one team she wants to join, reportedly isn't even sure they want her anymore.
Think about that.
Bonner burned her bridges with Indiana specifically to get to Phoenix, and now Phoenix is pausing to ask, do we really want someone who quits when things get tough? The Mercury are winning games with a young, cohesive roster. Their role players have bought into the system, and they're thriving. Why risk that chemistry for a 36-year-old veteran whose production is declining and who just walked out on her team, financial consequences, and a damaged legacy? If another team had claimed Bonner off waivers, she would have made her full salary. But because she's demanding to go only to Phoenix, she's likely looking at a prorated veteran minimum somewhere around $80,000. That's a self-inflicted loss of over $100,000. All because she thought she could control the narrative, and make no mistake, teams around the league are staying far away. GMs and coaches are asking, if she'll quit on Indiana mid-season, what's to stop her from quitting on us? In a league with just 144 roster spots, reputation is everything. If Bonner truly wanted to be in Phoenix so badly, she had the chance. The Mercury were interested during free agency. Everyone knew she had a relationship with Alyssa Thomas. Everyone knew that was her preferred destination. But she chose Indiana for the money, the exposure, and the chance to play alongside Caitlin Clark in the biggest media story of the WNBA season. And when things didn't go exactly her way, she bailed. Now she's trying to have it both ways. Take Indiana's money and spotlight, then force her way to Phoenix. That's not just unprofessional, it's reckless. The fallout in Indiana. Let's talk about what this means for Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Clark looked up to Bonner as a veteran leader. In preseason, you could see how much effort Clark put into building chemistry with her. And then Bonner just walked away. For the first time in her career, Clark's being shown that someone she admired doesn't want to play with her. That has to sting. And it likely contributes to some of the on-court struggles we've seen recently. Bonner's actions didn't just hurt her, they damaged the locker room culture in Indiana, disrupted chemistry, and undermined a young team in need of leadership. The Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons comparisons. The comparisons to Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons are apt, but there's a key difference. Butler was still a top-tier player when he forced his way out of Philadelphia. Simmons was young with perceived upside. Bonner is 36. And on the decline, yet acting like she holds the cards. It's delusional, and the league isn't buying it. A reputation destroyed, let's be clear. The silence from other veteran players speaks volumes. Normally, if a player is being mistreated by a franchise, teammates and former players speak out. Not here. That tells you how peers around the league are viewing Bonner's exit as selfish, unprofessional, and toxic. Even Phoenix, her supposed destination, would have to cut a player to make room. And why would they? They're building something with youth, culture, and cohesion. Bonner threatens all of that for minimal on-court return, a dangerous precedent for the league if the WNBA allows players to walk away mid-season and force trades without consequence. It sets a terrible precedent. The league is still building credibility. Contracts need to mean something. If Bonner gets her way, what's to stop others from doing the same? Framing this as a business decision is laughable. A real business decision is honoring your contract, handling issues behind the scenes, and keeping your professionalism intact. This is an emotional meltdown, and it's going to cost Bonner both money and legacy. The Alyssa Thomas factor. Let's not ignore the obvious. Bonner is trying to force a move to Phoenix to be with her partner, Alyssa Thomas. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be near your partner, but don't disguise it as a basketball decision. Don't abandon your team and then try to spin the fallout like you're a victim. The fact that she waited until Phoenix had the cap space to sign her before making this move is suspicious, as if it was planned all along. Take Indiana's spotlight and checks, then bounce once Phoenix can afford her? That's not just unprofessional, it's calculated. Final thoughts. A harsh reality check. If Bonner had just waited, handled things like a pro, she probably could have ended up in Phoenix through normal means, a trade, a buyout, or next offseason. Instead, she scorched every bridge and lost the respect of the league. Indiana now looks foolish for trusting her. The Fever's young players are left shaken. Clark, in particular, has handled this with more maturity and class than Bonner, and she's over a decade younger. And the WNBA? It now has a mess on its hands. Bonner thought she could manipulate the system and face no consequences. Instead, she's finding out the hard way that reputation matters. Contracts matter. Professionalism matters. And right now, no team wants to touch her. The karma is swift, and it's brutal. What do you think? Should any team give Bonner a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into WNBA drama, make sure to like and subscribe for more.